Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Hope you're all having a wonderful and creative day. And today we're going to make a quick little pocket out of time cards. And as you can see, I have like that. And this is a cute little pocket to be able to put some stuff in. And this would be great to attach to a book page or something like that as a little side tuck because it's pretty thick. For that, we could also not glue it down and have it be able to flip open, be able to maybe use it for some writing spots for things like that. But super easy, super simple to do, and great neutral colors. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, this is not really hard at all. So what I did was I flipped it so that the words would flip up correctly versus doing it this way and then they're upside down. So you just kind of take a look and see which way it goes. Now I just flipped this one up to be a big enough pocket. Let's go to that line and get that straight. There we go. And if you notice, I was saying I also used some of that tissue paper that I made in the last video for it. So we're going to use and play with some of that today. All right, and then we're going to fold the top down. Now for this one, I just folded it down enough so it covered past here. So let's just fold it to the word name. And call it done. Now I did round the corners on these. Let me get my rounder out. Just to soften the edges. But not necessary to do. There we go. And I did ink it. Again, also not necessary to do, but I think it just kind of ages these, especially if you have newer time cards. I can't remember where I got them from, but I got a whole stack of them. But I know you can find them places. Now, if you wanted to, like I said, make this into just a flip down, then if you want to cover it with some, some white paper or something, so it's writable, add some coffee dye paper or something to it, you can. If you want to make it a pocket, we just need to glue it up. And I forgot, put a little notch in there so that things can get reached out. There we go. Now for the closure, I did put glued a little circle there, and I've done that before on some stuff. I've got this neutral piece of thicker cardstock, and it's got some words on it. But I also, on this one, I covered it with a sticker just to make it a little bit more fun. Now, if we're gluing these down, excuse me, there we go. If we're gluing these down, we want to glue it down far enough so that it will catch, but not make it hard for it to get in and out. It's kind of a delicate balance. You don't want it too far up, especially with this stuff is pretty thick, but you want to be able to have it catch. So I'll do my best to center it. And do that. Okay, let that dry a minute before I take it out. And there's one other thing that I wanted to show you on this, is if you don't have time cards, these time cards are approximately almost 3.5 inches wide. They're just shy. They're like a little more than 3 1/4. They're a weird size. But this is specific to this one I have. Time cards can be different sizes. But in general, they're about the same size, and it is 9 inches tall. So with that said, if you don't have time cards, but you still want to make this easy flip over, I've got this thicker, heavier cardstock paper. And the beauty of this, if you ever cut some of your 12 by 12s down, like I do, where you get an 8.5 by 11 to use as a faux digital, maybe print on the back, use it into a thing. If you cut a 12 by 12 down to 8.5, you have 3.5 left over. So it is just a tad wider than that. So I took my 12 or whatever it was, 11 at that point, and just cut it down to 9. So I have a 9 by 3.5 piece of paper, and I can do the exact same thing with this as I did with that. Fold up however far you want, fold it down for the cover, however far you want, around the edges. So, whoops, it helps if the paper goes all the way into the cutter. Should have it flipping the other side so I can see it. I'm being very brave here, not seeing where it lands. And then this would be a perfect opportunity for any of these that are white on the inside to use as a flip out journaling spot. And we can do the same where we put a circle on there to close it. Just want to burnish this down so it stays closed. And there it is. I'm like, where did it go? I think that color would be okay with it, not that side. I think that color would be, there's kind of some peaches in there. So we're gonna chop this one right there. I mean, I could have went and found something else, but it's here. Just gonna ink the edges for it, and we'll glue this down. All right, so what I have also, and I just thought of something, I should have waited till I decorated the front to glue these down. So I'm gonna have to decorate around them. This one I had put the stuff down and then put the label on there. You can see the stuff is below it. Oh well, I'll decorate around it, right? So for these circles, for this one, I had this little sticker on there, and they are from my that clear flower thing. I got this off Temu. So there's clear flowers. There's a whole bunch of these. They look like tiny wax labels. So these work really well because they're circular to go. I like this one because it's got like a kind of like a heart with a key. I thought that was kind of fun. To do that, but I also have that Flora book, and there is tiny flowers in here that could definitely get put on top of here. I just need to find one. I think this Flora book is still available on Amazon. Oh, look at that right there, beautiful. Link is down below. I love this book. All right, let's do that one. We're just gonna put the flower on there. Beautiful. Okay, so I promised we were gonna use some of that tissue paper. So let's get some of that out. I'm going to use this corner guy here. Now there we go. I have one of those water pencils just to make sure I get just the piece I want. There we go. Beautiful little butterfly. I definitely should have. I'll pull that down a little farther. Okay, so for these, I'm going to add just going to put some glue. I never got rid of my sheet of paper from the last video. There we go. All right, so I'm going to add glue to this and put the tissue paper down. It's much harder to add glue to the tissue paper than it is to add it to the item you want to put it on. So I try to just put a little bit of glue farther than I need to. All right. Just get a little bit of scissors, and probably could have tried to wrap it around a little too, but just as easy to cut that off. Okay, nice. Let that dry a minute. But it almost like just blends right in there, right? And we could put a little bit of a, I think we'll just put a little bit of a label there. And I'm thinking one of these will work well. Like that. I like that. And I'm going to just trim it down a little bit. So these are, yeah, super simple. Just to so if you end up cutting a bunch of pages down to 8.5 from the 12 by 12s, and you have those 3.5 laying around, you could easily just go and fold a whole bunch up to the size you want. And if you're using that fuller paper in a journal, like if this was a journal page that you printed on the side, then you put this in the journal, it coordinates so well with it because it's the same paper. And there we go. I think I want to put some sort of number label across there. Let's see, not that big, but a little bit bigger. I am definitely running out of numbers here. Okay. Let's close this before I forget. And yeah, so you glue this down, make the two sides, and then you'll be able to take a card and be able to tuck it in there. But then when it's open, when it's glued down, you then have a nice little writing space that's hidden, and put that in there. And there you go. Cute. I like it. Now, if you wanted to, like I said, make a pocket, same thing, glue it down, and then you have a pocket to put stuff in there, and close it down. All right, so this one's probably glued enough. Let's decorate this one. And I already got that heart flower on there, and should I glue that one shut? I think I will. So we're just gonna put glue up the two sides at the top here. And glue it down, and I am gonna try to squeeze it in just ever so slightly. This is thicker paper, so getting it squeeze it a little bit is going to leave just a little bit of breathing room in there for it. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, now tissue paper. I think we can, should we try a little bird? Let's try to put a little bird on there. Oh, back to my water pen. And that is what's fun about these pieces of paper. I think I'm going to do that one. Is you can, I still see through there? No. You can pick and choose what you want to use. Beautiful. And still have a nice piece there, and a nice piece there, because they are just ripped and torn off, and use it's bits and pieces of it. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's throw some glue on here. Again, we're gonna give a good dose of glue here, right up to my little label. And once again, try to remember next time I do these, don't put the circle on before you decorate. Okay. I don't want to push too hard because I've got to get that glue to dry that's sticking out. Okay. Now, what should I add to this? I think a nice flower over here. It's got a little flower here, but I think him looking back at a nice pretty flower is not the worst thing in the world. So he's got a little bit of blue and beige on him. That one's really pretty. Got like blue and pink. Let's go with that one. So he's looking at the flower. I'm going to have to cut a bit of this flower off. That's okay. I'll actually probably wrap it around. I'll just wrap it around. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of a washi tape here. I got these Tim Holtz washi tapes, which are skinny, and I think the black with the white dots would be fun. Yeah, I like this. Kind of graphic. Also kind of give the bird something to stand on. Just wrap that around. Fun. Now, one thing I did, and I forgot to show on my one that I practiced or made, is up here, I do have a stamp on there. And this stamp is I probably should never play with it because it probably never be found, but I did find it at Joann Fabrics. I've used it before. It's small strips of tiny little stamps, hearts and flowers and vines, some banners. I mean, the stamp lengths they're only about 3 inches long, so they're nice and tiny. And I think I'm gonna do the banner one. They are, and who knows, they might still be available through, you know, Temu, or not that I can buy anything from them anymore anyway, but Amazon might have some. Who's to say? Somebody had them at some point. All right, what color? I think I'm gonna do some sort of blue on this. Sorry about the archivals, they were the closest. And I think we'll do faded jeans. There's a perfect spot on here, right above the signature line. That led to a perfect little spot to put that. So beautiful. So any little stamp. This would probably been a great spot for a little washi tape too. Up there. But all right, so the last thing I want to do is probably put a little sort of label there. This one I had found on my desk. This is a fabric stamped label. Found it laying there, so I used it. That's how a lot of things end up going, is you just kind of find something and use it. I'm looking for something longer. I don't think I want red. Ooh, that's blue. That kind of blends in, but I think it's a little too long, but I think you're a good length. So let's do that. Okay. Well, I think this is going to be it for this video. Finish this guy up. Nice and easy. So, I hope you liked the video. A thumbs up would be awesome. I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you join us on a regular basis. I try to make simple things that most everybody can do. I've been doing it, I've been making these journals for probably about 1.5 years now, so I would not say that I'm an expert by any means, but I definitely have made my fair share of things. Oh, I love that. That came out cool. I like that. Form, Sunday, the bird, you can still see the behind the tissue paper, still see the in and out. The floral, he's looking at a little thing and pop it up. Be able to stick some fun stuff in there. Pop it down. I shouldn't have popped it too soon. Let that glue dry. Too cute. And then a second version with the construction paper, the cardstock papers, where we have it as a flip out where it is not glued down, but still works the same way. I mean, these are by all means totally basic kind of things, but again, if you've got time cards, this is a fun way to add something a little bit more neutral. If you've got the cutoffs from your 12 by 12 and you're making 8.5, the 3.5, this is a perfect companion piece to be able to coordinate in a journal once you've got the big page in there. So I think it's a win-win-win. Win-win-win. Okay, that is going to be it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that stops by, and as usual, hope you're all having a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.